Well, it's perfect. Way to end off is to find this little guy who is ever so fittingly decided to make an appearance on his name day. We were hoping we would find him, given that, we saw him this morning, but one's never certain if they're going to find a little leopard cub. This area is thick, it's wet, it's not that easy to pick him up, and I think the only reason we found him in the end is because I've driven this drainage now about 4 times, and a herd of elephants came out. And the elephants were enough to lure him out, because he, obviously, being a young leopard, cannot help but go and investigate everything and anything. And that's why he's kind of sitting beautifully on the edge of the Mulawanini at the moment. It's very, very pretty with the green grass and him sort of lying down and having a bit of a yawn. Now, I was saying that it is naming day today. So the reason it's naming day is because, well, he's getting to that age, and a lot of you have been asking about names, and so it was decided that the Djuma guides, as well as some of the landowners, and James, who was the first one to see this particular fella, would all have a bit of a say. And so that means it's now time for the ceremony. So you've all gathered, patiently waiting, as our young boy makes an appearance, who has decided to come and look in his absolute finest clothing. He has got his spotted coat on, his coat is clean, and he is ready to hear what he shall be called for the remainder of his life. And it's hopefully going to be a long life, given that he is part of a very special lineage. His great-grandmother, Safari, who was a legend and survived until 19 years old. His grandmother, Karula, who too is an absolute legend of this area, and possibly one of the most famous leopards to grace the earth. And then his mom, who has become a legend in her own little right as well. So he comes from good stock. His female side of his family tree are all very special cats, all of whom have done amazing things, and I hope that this little fellow will do the same. He's got a lot to live up to, but so far, so good. Now, his name is quite difficult in terms of spelling and then being able to say it. It's not that difficult to say, but the spelling, if you try and say it normally, will make no sense whatsoever. And so basically, the spelling is Maribiye, okay? And in the local language, that means basically, which I'll tell you how to say it now, in the local language, it means that he is from the rocks, or of the rock. And the reason why he's been given this name is because of the amount of time that we have seen him on rock. So first rock, here in the Mulawanini as well. And I think it's quite fitting because his older brother was named Tamba, which means boulder. So we have rock and boulder in the family now, if you want to call it English, in English names. And the way to say it is Maribs, which basically is M-A-R-I-B-S is how you pronounce it, but it is spelt M-A-R-I-B-Y-E. So we now dub the Maribs, and he shall forever be known as that, which will be very, very cool, and hopefully he will carry it long into the future. I think it's quite a cool name. It's going to take a bit of people getting used to it. Like I said, not the easiest to say, but if you ever forget his name, just think of Mariepskop. That is the big mountain range to the west of Djuma Private Game Reserve, and so he is Marieps. That should be able to kind of remind you. So we dub the Marieps. Young fella, do you approve? He's too busy watching pigeons fly by. Are you okay with that? Yes. Good. Are you going to live up and be a legend? Yes. Good. All right. So there we go. Lucky you say spot finally. I mean, I feel like we haven't done too bad today. It's not taken us that long. I mean, it's only kind of 5:15, so I feel like an hour to find spots is really not too bad. We had a nice sighting of him this morning as well, yesterday afternoon, yesterday morning. So we've had kind of 4 drives with this little fella, and I've absolutely loved every minute of it. Yesterday afternoon was possibly my favorite sighting of him tied with another sighting that I had with him and his mom on First Rock. That was absolutely amazing. We had the two of them at sunset on these rocks. They drank from this beautiful little pan. It was super cool. But yesterday, him messing around in the water, chasing his poop down the water, looking at a snake, stalking some nyala for a little bit. He was a busy boy yesterday. And it was just the most magic setting, in this flowing riverbed, to have him walking from side to side and moving about. It was a very, very special afternoon. So I'm not complaining at all that we've had so much time with him. I'm going to be sad not to see him for the next 2 weeks, but luckily in 2 weeks' time, we'll be back and be able to kind of catch up with him again. It'll be good. Got a long way to go still in life.